na-disconnect ako kanina sa laptop na gamit ko. So, I'm still trying to connect using my phone. So, sana po kahit malakas yung Good afternoon, ma'am. Napakalakas na po ng ulan dito sa Albay ngayon. Kaya kanina na-disconnect po ako sa unang live stream. Kaya nag-create ako ng panibago. So the reason why I decided to make use of my laptop a while ago for streaming is that because I don't have my earphones for my cell phone. Pero nagkataon na mahina na yung internet ngayon, kaya I had to pursue this. Kailangan ko pa rin itong gawin gamit tong cellphone. Hello po sa 7 viewers na pakisabihan po yung mga nakakonect kanina, na nag-review no kanina live streaming, na may panibagong live streaming po kasi kanina na-disconnect na ako sa laptop. So, paki-inform na lang po. Thank you. And also, I'd like to remind you, and I am hopeful na meron na kayong copy ng Profed questions na i-rationalize natin this afternoon. So, the first part of our session, this afternoon will be mine. So, it will be followed by another session by Maestrong Bicolano. So please don't miss the Profed questions that you should know. So that will be our special topic this afternoon. Audible po ba ako? Effort match ako dito pala kasi yung boses ko, guys. Nagkikipag-compete siya ako sa lakas ng ulan. Pretty pa rin kahit maulan. Ganun dapat tayo. Ayan. Diba? Ulan din yung susuko. Hindi tayo. So, hila rin ang ulan. Hintayin po natin humila ang ulan. Panahon. remember that patience is a virtue. Pwede po humingi ng favor, paki-chat na po sa group chat natin na naka-live na tayo para makapagsimula na tayo. So, sa wakas nakapasok rin. Yes, para kay Ma'am Jacqueline. Hello po kay Ma'am Lorena. Good afternoon. Ma'am Jabeline. Sir Raul, hello po. Kamusta po kayo dyan sa Iloilo? Yes. O, diba? Let us consider the rain as blessing. Opo, mahirap talaga ang signal, but still we're connected. Bahrain. So, may viewer tayo coming from Bahrain. Si Ma'am Janine. From Surigao City. Ma'am Jacqueline and Sir Richard. So, okay lang po yung weather dyan sa inyo, Sir Richard. So last time, I wasn't able to give you all the Profed questions that I have prepared. So I just let Maestrong Bicolano send it to you and sana na-receive nyo yun. Hello also to Ma'am Dian Pastrana from Lucena City. So I am advising you, teachers, my fellow teachers, to prepare a pen and a piece of paper or your review notebook for you to take down notes, the important insights and the important words that I will be able to mention and discuss in this session. So during my time, kapag nag-attend ako ng review, if there are words that are new to me, for me to improve my vocabulary, isinusulat ko yung mga words na yun. So, hello also to Sir Joseph from Bukidnon. And Ma'am Buenafe from Santo Tomas Davao del Norte. Hello, Ma'am Brenda and Sir Ricky. Shout out po sa mga viewers natin dyan from Cebu. Hello, Sir Wilfred. Diba? So, tumitila rin ang ulan, kaya hindi natin kailangang sumuko. Hindi naman pang matagalan ng ulan. mabait si Lord, kaya tumitila rin ang ulan. Clear po ba yung voice ko dyan sa inyo? Good po ba? Please do give me an assurance na naiintindihan niyo po ako. Yung hindi nagsasounds like an alien yung boses ko. Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Jacqueline. Modulated pa naman kahit walang microphone, ano? Thank you po. So, sa classroom, isa yan sa mga dapat ma-ensure natin. So, let me turn off the electric fan dahil naririnig daw yung hangin. I'll be back, guys. Wala na po bang sound ng air? Okay na. Ma'am Leslie, okay na po ba? Thank you for watching, Ma'am Matamu. Dapat ang puso ng isang teacher, punong-puno ng pag-asa. Kasi, napakaraming challenges na possible na really struggling po sa network. I'm sorry for the technical. Lumalakas na naman kasi yung ulan. Thank you for the 28 persons who are still there kahit lagi akong nagre-reconnect po. So, I think the rain is just one of those challenges. See? Sinusubok lang tayo kung gano'n tayo katatag, diba? Hello po, Sir. Ay, Ma'am Vani and Ma'am Emerald. May progress po ba yung ulan dyan sa inyo? Ma'am Cirila? Yes, lumaban para sa LPP. So para po doon sa mga bago dito na hindi naka-attend yung first session ko sa inyo. So uh, siguro sana napanood niyo pa rin yung first session ko. Pwede niyo pa pong balikan sa YouTube channel na ito, Maestrong Bicolano TV. So, hanapin nyo lang po sa live videos ng channel. Then, makikita nyo pa rin yung video, yung session last time. So, mga ka-pretty fam, remember that the first letter of the word pretty stands for positivity. So, let us be positive na titila yung ulan and we will have a very good session for this afternoon. So last time I was able to give you my tips on how to pass the LEP. So if you want others to view that, kindly send the link or the name of the YouTube channel, Maestrong Bicolano TV, para sa mga willing yun mapanood. And I swear, all of those, hindi po ako, in-outline ko talaga yon para wala akong makalimutan sa mga ginawa. So always remember this, mga pretty, always aim to be on top so that if you will not be able to achieve that, still you are a certified. Let us maximize our time viewing videos, YouTube animation for teachers. And also, syempre, nakasanayan natin na manood tayo ng mga videos na nakapagpapasaya sa atin, 'di ba? Pero this time, we should know what is our priority para hindi masayang yung time na meron tayo habang wala pa yung schedule ng LET exam. Para wala tayong regret, sabi nga, 'di ba? So let us always use our time let us make our time productive. So it's really difficult for me to continue talking kasi putol-putol din yung network. Ano po, sana naiintindihan nyo pa. Let us be enthusiastic and may mga math majors po ba dito sa inyo? Pa-shout out po sa mga kabaro ko na math majors dyan. Hello po. So, I still have my review materials sa major kasi nung malapit na yung LEP, aside sa Profed, ayan. So, sa mga math majors po dyan, huwag kayong mataas sa majorship. Kasi nag-review ng high mathematics. But then, the exam, average lang naman po yung type ng exam type of questions na lumabas sa math majorship. Kaya chill lang po kayo dyan. I know na you have already mastered the basic mathematics. Naniniwala ako na kapag nag-take ang isang math major ng equip ng basic knowledge sa algebra, sa arithmetic, number theory, probability, ano pa ba, statistics, lahat ng basic doon, geometry. So, kapag meron po kayong basics doon, na master nyo yun, sigurado makakakuha kayo ng mataas na 120 items lang po ang sa majorship ng mathematics, unlike sa ibang majors. And one thing po pala natandaan ninyo kapag math major kayo, be careful, always be careful of design. Kasi kapag yung negative, ginawa mong positive, wala na. Sayang. Every item po, it counts. It really counts. Kasi sayang. So, kailangan natin na siguraduhin yung sagot natin sa bawat item ay tama. We should also master the skill in eliminating incorrect options, and we should also master sa Profed and sa Gen Ed yung pag-identify ng keywords or important terms sa question or sa STEM. Kasi pag na-master nyo yun, mas madali nyong mahanap or matutukoy yung tamang sagot sa options. Walang nagko-comment na math major. Wala po bang math major? Hindi pa naman ako ng materials. Walang nagko-comment. And sa materials na yon, merong lumabas na exactong question sa LET. And teachers, please don't hesitate to ask questions, relevant questions, so that masagot po natin yun. I'm willing to answer all of the questions that you will raise as long as I know the answer. Ano po? Another tip before I forget, guys, please don't let a day pass without reading. Kasi the more you read, the more you encounter variety of words, and some of those words are really new to you. And kung hindi nyo alam yung word na na-encounter nyo sa bawat araw, look for the meaning. Look for the meaning of it in the dictionary so that you will understand. Kasi possibly, pwede nyo yung ma-encounter sa LET. Although, diba, some of the words are not synonymous, but some of them, kapag paulit-ulit nating narinig, natatandaan na lang natin. Yung iba, hindi talaga magkasing kahulugan, but they are related. I'm still trying to recall things na mai-share ko sa inyo para i-consider ninyo sa preparation para sa LET. Because I believe that nothing beats preparation. That is why we have this session this afternoon, and we are still looking for more sessions with you. And if you have friends nearby, malapit lang naman kayo since may pandemic tayo, kung may mga friends kayo na malapit sa inyo, you should always allot time to see them for sharing. Kasi effective. And aside from that, na siya nawawala, hindi na siya mahirap i-retrieve sa mind kapag na-share mo isang bagay. So, it's just like a demonstration teaching na nag-share ka. Halimbawa, nagtuturo ka kung paano mag-repair ng computer. The more na paulit-ulit mo siyang ginagawa at itinuturo sa iba, mas natatandaan mo yung process. So, ganun rin sa learning, kahit anong way of learning by Albert Bandura. So, that is learning by observation, di ba? So, we learn things by observation and by imitation. Especially those things that are learned by um, demonstration or modeling. So, ayan. So, kahit tips pa lang yung ibinibigay ko, meron ako sa inyong sinishare na theories na pwede nyong i-take down and possibly may encounter nyo siya sa let questions, especially in Profed. And anyway, I also have here a list of famous persons na laging nire-review ng mga magte-take ng let. So, if you are not yet a member of the GC created by Maestrong Bicolano, you can comment down your names so that we can share to you the materials and we can add you sa GC. Meron po ba ditong nanonood ngayon na hindi pa kasali sa GC na ginawa ni Maestrong Bicolano? Paki-comment po nung pangalan ninyo, ma'am and sir. Kasi ano namang gagawin namin sa mga materials na nakatulong sa amin para pumasa, di ba? Nakakapagod kayong mag-prepare, kaya dapat tulungan tayo. Since pumasa kami, dapat tulungan rin namin yung ibang mga aspiring teachers na makapasok and maging formal na teacher, di ba? Kasi yung license for formality purposes na lang yun. I know that by heart, kaya nyo ginagawa, kaya kayo ngayon nanonood, kasi your teaching is your passion. So, since wala pong nagko-comment sa inyo ng pangalan nyo dito sa comment box, siguro lahat po kayo member na ng GC, ano? So, you can still invite. The more, the merrier. Kung nakasend you some of the important materials that I want to share to you. But then, we should make ways. Kaya, sa smartphone na lang ako kasi mas maganda yung reception. Mas kailangan kasi ng mataas na MB sa laptop. Since mahina yung net, mas advisable na gumamit ng phone. So, if you are using a laptop or a PC, then you have a poor connection, I advise you to make use of your smartphone, which consumes lesser MB. So, I assure you that this afternoon, worth it ang MB na makukonsume nyo sa mobile data ninyo or sa wifi ninyo. Sana ginagawa nyo, teachers, yung advice ko, di ba, na every day, you should always answer let questions. And sabi ko nga, ako noon, ang sinasagutan ko is, nagsimula ako sa 50 items every day. So, imagine, 50 items, say Profed, 50 item test in Profed every day. So, within 5 days, ilang questions na yon. So, the more the questions that you answer, pero make sure na you are able to get the correct answer for each question. Ano? So, you have to be honest to yourself kung nakuha nyo ba yung tamang sagot sa question na yun or hindi. Para makita nyo yung progress. The 5 days, 250 questions. So, 350 questions in a week. So, hindi na masama kung magpapahinga ka ng Saturdays and Sundays kasi weekend naman yun, family time. Then, after that, kung kaya na ng mind na sumagot ng 100 questions, mga 2 weeks siguro na dere-derecho ng pagsagot ng 50 items, then sundan nyo na ng 100 questions a day. After that, hanggang sa maging 150 questions siya. And you should aim na bago dumating yung let exam, mag-answer kayo ng let questions, 150 let questions ng my time. So, kung 2 hours, ilang oras ba yung nakaalat? Nakalimutan ko na kasi yung time allotment. So, kung 2 hours yung nakaalat, ilang seconds yun? That is 60 minutes times 60 seconds, 360, 36, 3,000 seconds. Yan, tumilan na yung, mahina na yung ulan dito sa amin. Kamusta naman dyan sa inyo? So, Gen Ed po pala sa, Gen Ed math questions. Kung nahihirapan po kayo sa math, you should allot time for math review. I will look for my materials sa Gen Mathematics, Gen Math, para na-share ko sa inyo. Ang nasa akin kasi major shift question sa mathematics eh. So, let us all say yes for, di ba, the last letter for pretty is Y, and we should always say yes for opportunities. So, thank you for those who are still with me this afternoon. ...42 viewers pa lang ang meron tayo ngayon. Sana makakonect na yung iba kasi okay na yung weather. So I think we can start the ratio. Do I still need to flash the questions for you or you already have it? Sana meron na kayo, no? Kasi sabi sa akin ni Maestrong Bicolano, shinare niya na sa inyo yung questions and pinost niya na rin sa Facebook page. So, I think we can start now rationalizing. So, good afternoon, teachers. Good afternoon, pretty fam. So, welcome to another session, another wonderful session for Profed rationalization. So, I will be giving 50 questions, sample let questions that you will rationalize this. Okay. So, sorry, masyadong matagal bago ako nakapag-reconnect. So, I will be reading the questions twice and the same with the options, and please comment your rationalizations so that there will be more chances that you will remember the questions or remember the technique on how to choose the right answer. So, meron na po ba kayong questions? Please confirm po. Are you ready, teachers? Ready na po ba kayo? So, let's apply law of readiness by Thorndike. So, let's make sure that all of you are ready for our rationalization. Ready na po ba kayo? Hanggat walang sumasagot, hindi ako magsisimula. This is a matter of communication. So let us inspire one another. So I'd like to inspire you to pass the let, and hopefully you will also give me reasons to be inspired this afternoon. So please be with me throughout the session. Yes, so you're ready now. So let's start. Okay, later I will be sharing on how to shade, okay? So let us first have the rationalization. So let's start number one. Which one role of play in the preschool and early childhood years? Which one role of play in the preschool and early childhood years? Is it A, develops competitive spirit, B, separates reality from fantasy, C, increases imagination due to expanding knowledge and emotional range, D, develops the upper and lower limbs? I'll repeat the options. Develop competitive spirit, B, separates reality from fantasy, C, increases imagination due to expanding knowledge and emotional range, D, develops the upper and lower limbs. Clear po ba yung question, teachers? Okay, may sumagot na. Ibig sabihin, naintindihan yung question. And Ma'am Imelda. So, why is it that the answer is letter C? So, the first option, let us take a look to option A, develops competitive spirit. So, let us first analyze the question. Let us highlight the words role of play in preschool and early childhood. Do you think in preschool age and early childhood, the child is competitive at that state? Of course not. For letter B, separates the reality from fantasy. At that state, at that stage of development, the child will have the difficulty to distinguish between the real and the fantasy. So it's letter C. It increases imagination due to expanding knowledge and emotional range. Why not letter D? Develops the upper and lower limbs. Although the question is asking for the role of play, the aim or the subject is not talking about the physical activity, not literally play, na kapag sinabing play, maglalaro na magde-develop ng upper and lower limbs. So the correct answer is letter C. The role of play is to increase imagination due to expanding knowledge and emotional range. Yes, tama po. The keyword is play and preschool. So it's letter C. So tandaan po natin, nasa stage na yan, di ba? Uso ngayon, patok na patok yung Encantadia. So yung mga bata sa preschool, minsan sinasagawa nila, nire-role play nila yung role ni Perena, di ba, ni Amihan. So it increases imagination due to expanding knowledge and emotional stage. Let's proceed to second question. Yes, so if you want to take a look of the stages of development, cognitive, we have Piaget, and actually we have a lot of theories. So let's proceed to next question. Number 2, student Z does not study at all, but when the licensure examination for teachers comes, before he takes the let, he spend 1 hour or more praying for a miracle to pass the exam. Which attitude towards religion or God is displayed? Again, student Z does not study at all, but when the licensure examination for teachers comes, before he takes the let, he spends 1 hour or more praying for a miracle to pass the exam. Which attitude towards religion or God is this? So let me repeat. A. Religion as fake. B. Religion as magic. C. Religion as authentic. D. Religion as real. Again, A. Religion is fake. B. Religion as magic. C. Religion as authentic. D. Religion as real. All right. So all of you answered letter B. It's religion as magic. Oo nga naman, 'di ba? So sa sitwasyon, ipinapakita na hindi siya nag-study and nag-spend lang siya ng 1 hour for praying, then he passed the let. So the situation shows that religion as magic. Why not A? Religion as fake. So it is not being emphasized in the situation that religion is fake. The same with as authentic. So walang nagpapatunay na ang religion sa statement na binigay ay authentic, and religion as real. So it's A, magic. It's letter B. Next question. As a teacher, you are a rationalist. Which among these will be your guiding principle? As a teacher, you are a rationalist. Which among these will be your guiding principle? Is it A? I must teach the child that we can never have real knowledge of anything. B. I must teach the child to develop his mental powers to the full. Is it C? I must teach the child so he is assured of heaven. D. I must teach the child every knowledge, skill, and value that he needs for a better future. Do I need to repeat the options? Yes, tama po sa question number 2, ma'am. Umaasa sa himala. Wag po natin yung gagawin na yung number 2. Kung alam natin sa sarili natin na nagpapabaya tayo, tapos we will just pray an hour before the let and we are hopeful na papasa, hindi po yun, that's magic, di ba? Okay, so for number 3, okay, your answer is letter, someone is requesting for me to read the options twice. So for letter A, I must teach the child that we can never have real knowledge of anything. B, I must teach the child to develop his mental powers to the full. C, I must teach the child so he is assured of heaven. D, I must teach the child every knowledge, skill, and value that he needs for a better future. Clear na po siguro, Okay, let us identify. Okay, what is the role of the teacher in the question, teachers? Please identify the important words in the question. I am not teaching you how to analyze the question. So as a teacher, you are a rationalist. So in that given statement, the teacher is treated as a rational being. And what word can we associate with the word rational? What faculty? Is it the heart or the mind? So kapag sinabing the teacher as a rationalist, it refers to the mental faculties of the teacher. So which among the given choices is showing that a teacher, the role of the teacher is a rationalist? Is it A, I must teach the child that we can never have real knowledge of anything? So that's contrary to the statement. So it's not letter A. Kinokontra niya yung role ng For letter B, I must teach the child to develop his mental powers to the full. So we have the word mental powers, which can be associated and much related to the word rational. Therefore, the teacher as a rationalist must teach the child to develop his mental powers to the full. So the correct answer here for number 3 is letter B. Now, why not C? I must teach the child so he is assured of heaven. So irrelevant. Letter D, I must teach the child every knowledge, skill, and value that he needs for a better future. Napaka-broad. So, na-mention na dito yung words na skill and value. So, the question is just asking for rational, the role of the teacher as rationalist. So, it's only letter B. Let's proceed. Number 4. All men are pretty much alike. It is only by custom that they are set apart, said one Oriental philosopher. Where can this thought be most inspiring? All men are pretty much alike. It is only by custom that they are set apart, said one Oriental philosopher. Where can this thought be most inspiring? A. In a multicultural group of learners. B. In multicultural and heterogeneous groups of learners and indigenous peoples group. C. In a class composed of indigenous peoples. Mamali indigenous people lang dapat. Letter D. In heterogeneous class of learners. Let me repeat the options. A. In a multicultural group of learners. B. In multicultural and heterogeneous groups of learners and indigenous peoples group. C. In a class composed of indigenous people. D. In heterogeneous class of learners. Again, I will be requesting you to type first the number of item that we are discussing, then after that, the letter of your answer. Number muna, for example, number 4, then write the letter of your answer. Type I mean, hindi makakapagsulat. Okay, some of you answered A and some answered D, B. So the Oriental philosopher said that all men are pretty much alike. So, and it is only by custom. Let us highlight the word custom, that they are set apart. So nagkakaiba-iba lang daw sila sa pagdating sa custom. Ano ba yung thought na ipinapakita doon sa sinabi ng Oriental philosopher? Is it in a multicultural group of learners? Saan ba siya naka-impact? Nagkaroon ng impact sa multicultural group of learners lang ba? Or is it B, in multicultural and heterogeneous group of learners and indigenous peoples group? Or C, in a class composed of indigenous people? And is it D, in heterogeneous class of learners? Kung susuriin nating mabuti, lahat ng options ay tama, 'di ba? It will be inspiring to all of them because iba-iba yung culture. Kapag sinabi nating heterogeneous, pwedeng iba-iba sa edad, iba-iba sa interest, iba-iba sa level of thinking. And kapag sinabi naman nating indigenous peoples group, iisang grupo lang ng indigenous people. Pwedeng Aita, pwedeng Tibuli, 'di ba? So, ito yung type ng question ay ng options na lahat ng options ay tama pero iisa lang ang pinakatama sa kanila. And which option is that? It's letter B. Remember na sa some questions ng some of the options are all correct and only one is the best. And option letter B in this question encompasses all the options. Kung makikita ninyo, nasa option B lahat, di ba? Multicultural group of learners, indigenous people, and heterogeneous class of learners. Since lahat tama si A, si B, at D, at lahat ng yon ay nasa B, then the best option to choose is letter B, and that is the correct answer. Nakuha po ba? So you should be able to judge, to criticize kung lahat ba ng questions ay tamang sagot para sa tanong. Because there are... So the correct answer for question number 4 is letter B. Nakuha po ba yung point doon sa pagsagot ng question number 4? Okay, let's proceed to question number 5. Teacher A discovered that his pupils are very good in dramatizing. Which tool must have helped him discover his pupils' strength? Is it A, portfolio assessment, B, performance test, C, journal entry, D, paper and pencil test? Alright. So what made you choose, since you all chose letter B as your answer, what made you decide to choose letter B? What gives you an idea that the answer for the question is performance test? Correct. So that's the word dramatizing. We all know that dramatizing is part of a performance task. Therefore, the correct answer is letter B. Yes, it's a performance-based assessment. So, bakit hindi siya portfolio? Sa portfolio, isine-showcase ng bata yung mga natutunan niya in form of essay, pwede siyang essay, pwede poster, but hindi dramatizing, hindi part ng portfolio assessment ang dramatizing. So it's performance test. So another is journal entry. So reflective writing yung nasa journal, yung experiences, and paper and pencil test naman is yung mga test na katulad ng multiple choice, matching type, identification. So hindi. So the correct answer is letter B. Let's proceed to number 6. So NSAT and NEAT results are interpreted against set of mastery level. This means that NSAT and NEAT fall under blank. A, intelligence test, B, aptitude test, C, criterion reference test, D, norm reference test. Again, NSAT and NEAT. So, ito yung National Secondary Achievement Test and National Elementary Achievement Test. So, NSAT and NEAT results are interpreted against set of mastery level. This means that NSAT and NEAT fall under blank. Is it A, intelligence test, D, aptitude test, C, criterion reference test, D, norm reference test? Alright, all of you got the correct answer. So why is it that the correct answer is criterion reference test? So in question number 6, in statement number 6, you should highlight the words against, interpreted against set of mastery level. So, mayroong standards. So, in the presence of standards na yon, to consider that the child is on the mastery level, there is the presence of the criteria or the criterion. So, it's criterion reference test. Ano naman yung tinatawag na intelligence test? So, merong specified questions to measure the intelligence test as well as aptitude test. Kung saan, pag sinabing aptitude test, saan ba magaling yung isang tao? Minimeasure yun kung saan ba magaling yung isang tao. How about norm reference test? So, the performance of each learner or student is being compared. There is the comparison of the result of the test of one learner to another learner or to the group of learners. So the correct answer is letter C, criterion reference test. Let's proceed to number 7. In a social studies class, teacher I presents a morally ambiguous situation and has asked his students what they would do. On whose theory is teacher I's technique based? A. Kohlberg, B. Bandura, C. Piaget, D. Brunner. Again, in a social studies class, teacher I presents a morally ambiguous situation and asked his students what they would do. On whose theory is teacher I's technique based? Is it A. Kohlberg, B. Bandura, C. Piaget, D. Brunner? So this is just a simple recall based from the given question. Okay, so the correct answer is Kohlberg. So for the moral development theory, it is Kohlberg, Lawrence Kohlberg, yung nag-study sa kanya, nag-theorized. How about Albert Bandura? Ano ba yung pinag-aralan ni Albert Bandura? So, ang first name po ni Kohlberg ay Lawrence. So, Lawrence Kohlberg. So, siya yung sa moral development theory. How about Bandura? Ano yung theory niya? Why not choose Bandura, Piaget, and Brunner? Siya yung sa Albert Bandura is known for his observational learning, modeling, and imitation. So, observation, modeling, lahat po yun kay Bandura. So, next is Piaget, si Jean Piaget. Kahit anong pagkakapronounce sa kanya, basta yung alam natin yung spelling ng pangalan niya. So, sa kanya naman is yung sa cognitive development theory. Yes, for Bandura is the social learning theory. That's why imitation, learning by modeling, and imitation is associated with Albert Bandura. So, as what I'm saying, so Jean Piaget is known for his cognitive development theory. So, yung 4 stages of development, cognitive development kay Piaget yon. Then, kay Brunner naman is yung sa spiral curriculum and constructivism. And also discovery learning. Yun yung kay Brunner. So, tandaan po, yung sa moral development, since sa question, merong word na morally, the teacher presents a morally ambiguous situation. So, it is associated to Kohlberg. The correct answer is letter A. Let's proceed to number 8. Which is a sound classroom management practice? Which is a sound classroom management practice? Is it A, avoid establishing routines, B, establish routines for all daily needs and tasks, C, apply rules and policies on a case-to-case basis, D, apply reactive approach to discipline? Again, is it A, avoid establishing routines, B, establish routines for all daily needs and tasks, C, apply rules and policies on a case-to-case basis, D, apply reactive approach to discipline? Wow, ang gagaling ng teachers. Very good ah. Kanina ko pa napapansin, tama lagi yung sagot nyo. But you should know the reason why it is the correct answer. So, for number 8, why not A? What makes letter A an incorrect answer? Why not A? So, since the question is looking for a sound classroom management, it is a positive, right? Positive siya. So, ano yung nakapagpamali sa letter A? It's the word avoid. So, since mali yung avoid, so teachers should establish routines for all daily needs and tasks. Now, bakit mali yung option C and D? Sa option C, apply rules and policies on case-to-case basis. So we must be consistent in establishing our rules. That rule should be true to all and should always be observed kahit anong oras. How about letter D? Ano yung word na nakapagpamali sa letter D? Ano po yung negative word sa letter D na nakapagpamali sa kanya? So for letter D, apply reactive approach to discipline. Ano yung negative word sa letter D? Anyone? Don't be afraid of committing mistakes. You're not yet taking the let. So you're just preparing for the let. This is learning by experience, teachers, so don't be afraid of committing mistakes. So that's correct, Ma'am Leslie. Because of the presence of the word reactive, letter D is incorrect. Ano dapat yung word instead of reactive? What kind of approach ang dapat i-apply ni teacher? Kunwari, wala sa options yung letter B. And ang option nyo lang is yung nasa A, C, and D. Ano yung makakapagpatama sa letter D? So, instead of having a reactive approach, this is the reason why we establish routines. We should be proactive. Dapat maging proactive tayo sa mga bagay. Bago pa mangyari yung mga negative things, dapat informed na yung learners kung ano ba yung allowed na mga bagay na dapat nilang gawin and ano ba yung mga hindi. Yes po. So, the word that will make statement D or option D as a correct answer is proactive. So, pag sinabi pong proactive, positive siya. Kapag reactive, that is negative. Take note po, lumalabas po yan sa let question sa Profed. So, let's proceed to question number 9. A 6th grade 12-year-old boy comes from a dysfunctional family and has been abused and neglected. He has been to two orphanages. Okay, allow me to repeat the question. A 6th grade 12-year-old boy comes from a dysfunctional family and has been abused and neglected. He has been to 2 orphanages and 3 different elementary schools. The student can decode on the 2nd grade level, but he can comprehend orally material at the 4th or 5th grade level. The most probable cause or causes of this student's reading problem is or blank. A. Emotional factors. B. Poor teaching. C. Neurological factors. D. Maturity. Again, options for number 9. A. Emotional factors. B. Poor teaching. C. Neurological factors. D. Immaturity. Alright, the correct answer is letter A. So it's emotional factors. Let's highlight the word abused and neglected. So emotionally, the child was affected. That's why it affects the development. His development, it's his mental and reading development. So nagkaroon siya ng difficulty or reading problem because of his past experience. Kung hindi pa siya dinala sa orphanage and sa lumipat siya sa ibang school, hindi niya ma-overcome yung problem. So, he was affected by his experiences. And that's emotional factors. You cannot say that's poor teaching. Kasi natuto pa rin siya. Kung hindi siya natuto sa past, hindi siya natuto sa teachers niya sa nakaraan, wala siyang maaalala na hindi siya makakapag-comprehend. How about neurological factors? Kasi when we say naman na neurological factors, mas malalim na siya. It's something that is about the brain capacity of the student. How about immaturity? So it's not about immaturity since the child or the boy was abused and neglected. So the correct answer is A, and that is emotional factors. Okay po ba? Nandyan pa po ba kayo? So, we're just on the 10th question. So, the 10th question is, Teacher Yu teaches to his pupils that pleasure is not the highest good. Teacher's teaching is against what philosophy? Is it A, realism, B, hedonism, C, Epicureanism, D, empiricism? Again, Teacher Yu teaches to his pupils that pleasure is not option A, realism, B, hedonism, C, Epicureanism, D, empiricism. So for letter A, the correct answer is letter B. So we have a philosophy that pleasure is the highest good. And anong philosophy yon? Anong philosophy yung hedonism? So for hedonism is a philosophy that believes that pleasure is the highest good. Since the question is, the teacher Yu teaches to his pupil that pleasure is not. So saan daw against? Yun na philosophy yon. So it's against hedonism. Now, what is realism? Anybody? Okay, I will give you words that you can associate with realism. So, pag sinabing realism, dapat sa statement, sa question, ipinapakita what is real, actual, and must be demonstrated. That is realism. So, what is real and actual must be demonstrated. How about empiricism? Empiricism. So, sa empiricism, sense-based experience. So, kung ano yung nasisense ng 5 senses natin, that is the belief of empiricism. So, it focus on our senses. Actually, yung letter C and letter B, parehas siya na belief na pleasure is the highest good. Only that, wrong spelling itong sa letter C. But both of the two, Epicureanism and hedonism, is a belief that pleasure is the highest good. Take note of that, teachers. So, I hope na meron kayong pen and paper. Let's proceed to number 11. With which goals of educational institutions as provided for the Constitution is the development of work skills aligned? Again, with which goals of educational institutions as provided for the Constitution is the development of work skills aligned? Is it A, to develop moral character. B. To teach the duties of citizenship. C. To inculcate love of country. D. To develop vocational efficiency. Again, A. To develop moral character. B. To teach the duties of citizenship. C. To inculcate. Aba, parang nag-advance research na yung mga teachers So, the correct answer is letter D. To develop vocational efficiency. Bakit? Bakit yun yung sagot? Ano yung hinihingi sa question? That is the development of work skills aligned. So, we have the word work skills. And malayo yung work skills sa moral character. And it deals with vocational efficiency. So, vocational courses na mga ino-offer sa TESDA, that's part of work skills. Alam naman letter B, duties of citizenship. Of course not. And letter C, inculcate love of country. Malayo. So, the answer is letter D. Number 12. Are you ready for question number 12? Opo, Ma'am Nelia, the correct answer is letter for number 11. It's letter B. Okay, number 12. Direct instruction is for facts. Again, letter A, hypothesis, verified data and conclusions. B, concepts, patterns, and abstractions. C, concepts, processes, and abstractions. C, concepts, processes, and generalizations. Letter D, guesses, data, and conclusions. Again, letter A, hypothesis, verified data, and conclusions. B, concepts, patterns, and abstractions. C, concepts, processes, and generalizations. D, guesses, data, and conclusions. Okay, nagkaiba-iba na. May A, may B, and C. But most of you answered letter C. So, let us distinguish between direct instruction and indirect instruction. So, which of the two is the deductive and which one is the inductive? Bago po natin sagutin yung tanong. So, which between direct and indirect is the inductive and which one is the deductive? So, eto, i-share ko to sa inyo kasi eto yung way ko para matandaan ko siya dati. DDII. Take note, DDII. Direct means deductive and indirect means inductive. So here, given yung sa direct instruction, which is the deductive, ang hinahanap is for the indirect instruction. Suriin natin yung letter A. Sa letter A, yung options ay hypothesis. Tama. Tama naman, di ba? So, uneducated guess. How about verified data? Yes, Ma'am Lorena, tama po. Deductive is for direct and indirect is for inductive. So, verified data, is it a direct or indirect? Di ba yung verified data, direct siya? Kasi tama na siya. It can be considered as a premise that is already proven. So, it is already a direct direct instruction. So, mali na yung option ng letter A. And the same with conclusions. For letter B, you have concepts, patterns, and abstraction. Ano na yung nakapagpamali sa kanya? Yung concepts, pero yung patterns and abstraction, di ba? So here, for letter C, we have concepts, processes, and generalization. From concept, you apply processes, then you have to generalize. How about letter D? You should not keep on guessing. Data and conclusion. So, nakapagpumali sa letter D is yung word na conclusions, which is direct instruction. Now, ang purely na tama dito as indirect instruction is concepts, processes, and kailangan po natin na isa-isahin yung ibinigay na ways of instruction. Kasi pinaghalong direct at indirect yung iba, kaya maling option. So, purely hinahanap natin is indirect or inductive instruction. And that is letter C. Let's proceed to number 13. To elicit more students' response, Teacher G made use of covert responses. Which one she did not do? Is it A, she had the students write their response privately? B, she showed the correct answers on the overhead after the students have written their responses? C, she had the students write their responses privately, then called each of them? D, she refrained from judging on the students' responses. Again, she had the students write their response privately. B, she showed the correct answers on the overhead after the students have written their responses. C, she had the students write responses privately, then called each of them. Letter D, she refrained from judging on the students' responses. Okay, iba-iba na yung sagot. May B, may C, and may D. Isa-isayin natin ha. Let us analyze first the question. So the purpose of the teacher is to elicit more students' response. So ang ginamit ni Teacher G is the use of covert responses. When we say covert, that is hidden responses. So alin daw yung hindi niya ginawa? Is it A, she had the students write responses privately? B, she showed the correct answers on the overhead after the students have written their responses. So, since yung tanong is, kung alin ba yung hindi niya ginawa and yung hindi niya yung ginawa ay yung dapat na ginawa niya. So, it's letter B. Dapat, si Teacher G, pinakita niya yung correct answers overhead after the students have written their responses. So, it's letter B. Why not C? She had the students write their responses privately, then she called each of them. To refrain from judging the students' responses so that the students will know kung alin ba yung tama and alin yung mali. So, it's letter B. Number 14. What should you do if a parent who is concerned about the grade of his child received compared to another student's grade? Again, what you should do if a parent who is concerned about the grade his child received compared to another student's grade and demands to see both students' grades? Is it A, refuse to show either records? B, show both records to them? C, refuse to show any record without expressing permission from principal? D, show only his child's records. So So 14, what you should do if a parent who is concerned about a grade of his child received compared to another student's grade demands to see both students' grades. Is it A, refuse to show either record, B, show both records to him, C, refuse to show any record without expressing permission from principal, or D, show only his child's records? Okay, so this question demands for the so-called ethics on assessment. So we're talking about the student's grade. So ideally, ang sagot na hinihingi ni PRC is yung tamang gagawin ng teacher. Option A, refuse to show. So as what I'm saying, this deals with about the ethics on assessment. So the teacher can refuse to show the records. Halimbawa, merong magulang na humihingi ng grade ng kanyang anak at ng iba pang estudyante. So alin lang ba dapat yung ipapakita niyang grade? Yung grade niya lang ba or yung grade pati ng classmate niya? So hindi ma-observe yung ethics on assessment kung ipapakita ni teacher yung grade ng another student sa isang student or sa parent ng hindi naman parent ng student. So dapat yung makikita ng parent na yon is yung grade lamang ng estudyante or nung anak niya. So it's letter D. Show only his child's records. It's letter D. The correct answer for number 14 is letter D. Hindi po pwedeng refuse to show any record without expressing permission from the principal. Hindi na po yung trabaho ng principal. So nasa teacher na po yung move para sa simple situation na yon. Kahit mag-demand pa yung parent na hingin yung grade ng classmate niya, hindi pwede. So that's the privacy or the ethics on assessment. Number 15. Jen Watson said, "Men are built, not born." What does this statement point to? Is it A, the ineffectiveness of training on person's development? B, the effect of environmental stimulation on a person's development? C, the absence of genetic influence on a person's development? D, the effect of heredity? Again, John Watson said, "Men are built, not born." What does this statement point to? Okay, for number 15, some answered B, some answered C. So let's see. Let's analyze the given statement by Jen Watson. Men are built, not born. So ang thought saan nagpo-focus? So it's about, naniniwala si Jen Watson na ang tao, ang human ay nahuhubog, nurtured, built. So this statement has symbolism. So built, nurtured, not born. So yung built, this is between nurture and nature. So sa born, papasok yung factor ng heredity. So alin sa statements dito ang papakita na ang men ay nurtured or affected by his environment. So it's letter B. Basahin natin yung option A. The ineffectiveness of training on a person's development. So na-mention naman yung word na training that we can associate to build. Pero ano yung maling? There is the presence of the word ineffectiveness. So letter A is incorrect. Tandaan po natin na yung statement ni Jen Watson, nagfo-focus na ang tao daw ay built or nurtured. But it doesn't focus on the contrary, that man is born, not born. So The effect of environmental stimulation on a person's development. Tama ba yung statement? So, nag-agree siya doon sa question and it answers the question. Therefore, the correct answer is letter B. Na ang tao ay affected, ang person's development ay affected ng environmental stimulation. How about letter C? The absence of genetic influence on a person's development. Pero meron naman ngayon ma'am na word na born. But still, it's not about the absence of genetic influence on a person's development. Still, genetics is a factor. Only that Jen Watson gives emphasis on the idea that man or men can be nurtured. And letter D, the effect of heredity. So, this one is an incomplete thought. The effect of heredity. So, the correct answer is the effect of environmental stimulation on a person's development. Okay, let's proceed to question number 16. A guest speaker in one graduation rites told his audience, "Reminder, you are what you choose to be." The guest speaker is more of again, a guest speaker in one rites told his audience, "Reminder, the pragmatist, C idealist, the existentialist." Variety of answers. Teachers, please take note of this. We will distinguish between each educational philosophy. Okay, please take note of this. Let us highlight the word, you are what you choose to be. Meaning, you as a person exist. Your value is important. You have the freedom to choose. So, since the word choose is present in the statement given by the guest speaker, the view or the belief of the speaker is more of an existentialist. Ano naman yung tinatawag na pragmatist? So, what is useful or practical is true. That is by John Dewey. So, that is dealing with specific situations instead of theories. Yun po yung view ng pragmatist. How about idealist or idealism? What is in the mind is the only reality. So, ideal. And it is possible to live with very high standards of behavior and honesty. So, yun naman yung belief ng idealist. So, for number 16, since present yung word na choose sa reminder na binigay ng guest speaker, then he is more of existentialist. Letter D. The best way for a guidance counselor to begin to develop study skills and habits in another achieving student would be to blank. A. Have these underachieving students observe the study habits about study habits from their own experiences. All of you answered letter B. That's correct. What made you choose letter B as your answer? So, since meron ng underachieving student, bakit hindi A? Have this underachieving observe the study habits of excelling students. Lagi niya na nga yung kasama yung achieving students, yung nag-excel na student, but then still it doesn't affect him or her. So the best way for the guidance counselor to begin the development of study skills of the underachieving student is to encourage, to provide motivation, to encourage the students to talk about the study habits from their own experiences. So, parang sa sciences lang yan. So, sa scientific method, 'di ba? You have first to gather data. So kailangan magkwento muna yung bata about the study habits na ginagawa niya, and saka magpo-provide ng feedback, ng advice or supplementary information yung guidance counselor para malaman niya kung meron bang mali or may tama ba sa study habit ng underachieving student. So, kailangan niya muna i-encourage. Bakit hindi naman letter C? Have them view film strips about various study approaches. So, hindi na nga effective yung na-observe ni student yung habit ng excelling or achieving students. What more kung movies lang or film strips? How about give out a list of effective study approaches? So, that's very abstract. Kung yung video nga, yung personal observation, hindi effective sa kanya, then, what more kung magbibigay siya ng effective study approaches? Masyado siyang abstract. Okay? Nasaan ba ako? So, as what I'm saying, options A, C, and D, hindi siya yung primary move para gawin ni guidance counselor. Kasunod lang dapat siya ng encouragement na gagawin niya doon sa estudyante para mag-share. So, next, sa number 18 na tayo. Principal C shares this thought with his teachers. Subject matter should help students understand and appreciate themselves as unique individuals who accept complete responsibility for their thoughts, feelings, and actions. From which philosophy is this thought based? Is it A, perennialism, B, essentialism, C, existentialism, D, progressivism? Again, Principal C shares this thought with his teachers. Subject matter should help students understand and appreciate themselves as unique individuals who accept complete responsibility for their thoughts, feelings, and actions. From which philosophy is this thought based? Is it A, perennialism, B, existentialism, D, progressivism? So, for question number 18, identify the words. So, those words talks about the values of the students. The same to the words responsibility for their thoughts, feelings, and actions. So, it is talking about the person as an existentialist. So, it's letter C. That is, the perennialism is the view that education is unchanging, ageless, and eternal. For progressivism, that deals with growth and development activist view, that is child-centered. So that is learning by doing sa progressivism. So the correct answer for number 18 is letter C. It's existentialism. Number 19. Okay, okay, let me repeat. The search for related literature by accessing several databases by the use of a telephone line to connect the computer library with other computers that have database is termed as blank. A. Compact disk search, B. Manual search, C. Online search, D. Computer search. Okay, all of you got the correct answer. It's letter C. Why? So, since you have to access several databases, you need to perform online search. Kung compact disk, hindi variety, hindi maraming database ang ma-access mo, pwedeng isa lang. And for manual search naman, 'di ba? Na-mention yung the use of telephone line to connect to a computer library. So obviously not. Hindi siya mano-manong pagse-search na pag-gather ng data and ng related literature. Walang na-mention na kapag sinabi kasing manual search, it is more of looking for the related literature by looking or by searching on the library, not electronic library, but purely library like books, journals, other researches. That's manual search. Nakastack lang na info sa, or nakasave lang na info sa computer, yun lang tinatawag na computer search. Pero yung online, may access siya sa web. So, pwede niyang ma-access yung iba't ibang databases. So, the correct answer for number 19 is letter C. Next, number 20. Teacher W wants to review and check on the lessons of the previous day. Which one will be most reliable? Again, Teacher W wants to review and check on the lesson of the previous day. Which one will be most reliable? A. Having students identify difficult homework problems. B. Having students correct each other's work. C. Sampling the understanding of a few students. D. Explicitly reviewing the task relevant information necessary for the day's lesson. Okay, let's discuss. A. Having is incorrect. B. Having students correct each other's work. Since your purpose is to review and check, B is not advisable. Masyado silang marami para gawin yon. Letter C, sampling the understanding of a few students. Tama ba? So, to lessen the time to consume, that for the review for the day, di ba, hindi naman tinatawag ng teacher lahat. So, meron lang iilang na tinatawag para sa pagsagot or pag-review ng lesson na na-conduct. So, for letter D, why not D? Explicitly reviewing the task relevant information necessary for the day's lesson. Kapag sinabi kasi natin explicit instruction, it start, meron siyang tatlong phases ang explicit instruction. And that is, the teacher, I do, we do, and you do. So, hindi na yun kailangan ng gawin ng estudyante na si teacher muna yung magre-review, then i-repeat ng lahat, then i-repeat ng students. So, masyadong time consuming. So, the correct answer is letter C, sampling the understanding of a few students. Diba? In a student's review or recall and checking of understanding bago mag-proceed sa next class, yung teacher nag-ask ng few questions about the topic discussed last time, then some of the students will be able to answer that question. So, let's proceed to number 21. So, anyway, for 20, the correct answer is letter C. 21. This is just a recall. So, kung nagbabasa kayo and natandaan ninyo yung lesson dati, masasagot nyo yung question number 21. Question number 21, during the Spanish period, what was or were the medium or media of instruction in school? Is it A, the vernacular, B, English, C, Spanish, D, Spanish and the vernacular? Again, during the Spanish period, what was or were the medium or media of instruction in schools? Is it A, the vernacular, B, English, C, Spanish, D, Spanish and the vernacular? Okay, let's highlight the words Spanish period. So do you think during that time, the teachers or the educators made use of vernacular language as a medium of instruction? Yes, they during the Spanish era, they are using the vernacular language. And at the same time, syempre, Spanish language yung ginagamit nila. So, it's the combination of the vernacular and the Spanish language. So, obviously, during Spanish period, hindi sila gagamit ng English. So, eliminate English. So, it's between the vernacular and Spanish. So, since parehas nilang ginagamit yun, the correct answer is letter D. Opo, tama yung vernacular and tama rin yung letter C which is Spanish. So, since parehas lang yun ginagamit as media of instruction, then the correct answer is letter D. Number 22. With indirect instruction in mind, which does not belong to the group? A. Problem solving. B. Lecture recitation. C. Inductive reasoning. D. Discovery. With indirect instruction in mind, which does not belong to the group? A. Problem solving. B. Lecture recitation. C. Inductive reasoning. D. Discovery. Number 22 na po tayo. D. Remember, which does not belong to the group. Okay. For question number 2, let us highlight the word indirect instruction and does not belong to the At ang direct instruction lang dyan, yung iba problem solving. So, in problem solving, given na yung formula or yung rule, established na yung rule. So, if there is a law or rule applied, then that is direct instruction. So, the correct answer is letter A. Bakit hindi yung lecture method or recitation? So, that is a type of inductive approach wherein the teacher who is performing or doing the lecture is keep on asking questions to guide the students to arrive with a certain generalization and make their own theory about the lesson. For letter C, inductive reasoning, that is indirect instruction. Another term for indirect instruction is inductive reasoning. Therefore, it is not the exception. So letter D, discovery. See, discovery is also an indirect instruction. So we discover things in this kind of approach. The teacher make use of questions, guide questions for the students to discover the lesson. So the correct answer for number 22 is problem solving. Since problem solving is a deductive or direct approach or instruction. Let's proceed to number 22. So I think after reaching number 25, I will be requesting Maestrong Bicolano to take over first. Then after that, after him, I will continue discussing number 26, item number 26 to 50. So I almost talked for more than 2 hours and I think I need water. I'm thirsting, and so let's proceed to number 21st. I combine several subject areas in order to focus on a single concept for interdisciplinary teaching. Which strategy or method did I use? Is it A, problem-centered learning, B, thematic instruction, C. Reading, writing activity. D. Unit method. Again, is it A. Problem-centered learning? B. Thematic instruction. C. Reading and writing activity. D. Unit method. So, some answer D and some answer B. Okay, for this question, you already have a hint. And the hint is that there are several subjects, and in order to focus on a single concept for interdisciplinary teaching, so magpo-focus in only one. So, alin ba dyan ang nagpo-focus sa single concept? So, from the word unit, you can say that the method is unit method. So, it's letter D. Obviously, you're able to eliminate problem-centered learning and reading and writing activity. So, you do good that for that. And sa thematic, it's quite confusing for you since it's all, kapag sinabi kasing theme, isa lang siya. But then, the best answer for that, since it only focused on a single concept for interdisciplinary teaching, that is unit method. So, combining several subject areas in order to focus on a single concept. And that is called as unit method. Number 24. So the question is quite long since there is a conversation or a dialogue between the teacher and his students. So the teacher said, in what ways other than the periodic table might we predict the undiscovered elements? Bobby said, we could go to the moon and see if there are some elements there we don't have. Betty, we could dig down into the center of the earth and see if we find any of the missing elements. Ricky said, we could study debris from the meteorites if we can find any. Then the teacher said, those are all good answers. But what if those excursions to the moon, to the center of the earth, or to find meteorites were too costly and time-consuming? So question, the teacher's question in the above exchange are examples of what questions? A. Fact. B. Concept. C. Direct. D. Closed. Again, the teacher's questions in the above exchange are examples of blank questions. A. Fact. B. Concept. C. Direct. D. Closed. Okay, so we have a variety of answers. Some answered D and some answered B. Now, yung unang tanong ni teacher is that, in what ways other than the periodic table might we predict an undiscovered element? And his last question is, what if those excursions to the moon, to the center of the earth, or to find the meteorites were too costly and time-consuming? How might we use elements we already have here on earth to find some new ones? Kapag sinabi nating factual question, it is answerable by a single and only one correct answer for a fact. But the teacher is not asking for a factual answer, I'm sorry. So for letter B, concept, is not asking for the concept. What he is asking is, what if we already have some elements on earth na yun na yung gamitin para wag na maging costly and time consuming. So the question of the teacher is direct. He is directly asking the students about the ways. How about closed type of questions? Yung closed type of questions, yun yung given na yung sagot and the students are just going to select kung alin doon yung answer. So, the correct answer for number 24 is letter C. So, the questions given by the teacher is direct. So, let's have number 25. Number 25. In his second item analysis, teacher H found out that more from the lower group got the test item number 6 correctly. Again, for the options, A has a negative discriminating power, B has a lower validity, C has a positive discriminating power, D has a high reliability. So, for my session, hatiin mo natin siya. So, ito muna, hanggang dito muna tayo sa number 25. Then, Maestro Bicolano will take over first. For number 25, okay, let me read again the question. In his second item analysis, teacher H found out that more from the lower group, yung tinatawag ditong lower group, kung sino pa yung lower group, ayun yung nakatama ng correct answer sa number 6. So, how will you be able to judge the situation? Meron bang enough given para masabi nyo na meron siyang negative discriminating power? So, hindi enough. Sinabi lang na sa item number group yung nakakuha ng tamang sagot. So, itatanggal nyo na yung A and C kasi walang enough given info to discriminate kung positive or negative discriminating power ba yung nasa situation. Tanggalin na yung A and C. So, kung maiisip natin, diba, na kapag yung nasa lower group, kung sino pa yung mas mababa yung score, sila pa yung nakakuha ng tama, ibig sabihin, yung question has a lower validity. So, that is somewhat about the validity of the test question made by the teacher. So, it's letter B. Kapag naman sinabi kasing reliability, it's highly reliable if the question is valid. Since it is not valid, since it has lower validity, it cannot be considered as high reliability. Before considering the reliability, we should consider first the validity. So, it's letter B. Wait lang muna po. Actually, I have logged in the YouTube account of Maestro Bicolano, and since, diba, bombarded tayo, we're almost discussing for 2 hours. So, let us first have a short break, and yun nga, sabi ko, magte-take over after this is Maestro Bicolano, si teacher Rich Love. For those who are still watching, thank you for staying with me throughout the session. And hopefully later, mas okay na yung signal para hindi na siya putol-putol. Kahit ako, nasa kalagitnaan ako ng question. Yung question pa na masyadong mahaba, di ba? Tapos nakaka-cut, then I have to repeat. That's why parang na-challenge today yung boses ko ah. Napakalaking factor po talaga ng weather natin. Wait. I'll be back later. I'll just send the message to Maestrong Bicolano. May questions po ba? I appreciate those who stayed with me throughout the session po. And hopefully, mag-sink in po sa ma-absorb ninyo yung mga points to remember. Not only the questions, but the ways on how to answer the question and how to rationalize. So, sa mga hindi po naka-attend dahil sa signal, thank you also. Sa mga natira po na nandito pa rin hanggang ngayon, kindly message me so that I can notice you and I can give you helpful materials. Okay. For those who are still there, direct message me. Ngayon na po, kasi naka-online ako. Anyway, I have my Facebook account since I already reached the maximum number of friends. I advise you to just follow me, and my FB name is Devi Talagtagbukad. So, thank you for staying with me, guys. Huwag niyo pong kakalimutan mag-message yung natirang hanggang ngayon na nag-review pa rin ng video. So, hopefully later, makapag-online. Bye! Thank you!